Hello everyone, this is your daily dose of internet. There's a company that's trying to develop their own water taxi service similar to Uber, where all you need to do is pull up your phone and request a ride. The boat is designed to resemble a car and uses hydrofoils to keep waves and noise to a minimum. In case you didn't know, Oman just experienced a tropical cyclone which resulted in flooding all across the country. There's a company that makes pool tables that tells you where the cue ball will go. This is called rainworks, which is art that only appears when it rains. A group of scientists found this incredible jellyfish off the coast of Mexico. These jellyfish are typically found about 5,000 feet beneath the ocean.
There's a different crab that we want to try and grab.
Okay.
Esmeralda,
Yes.
which one is... You said there was one that was
Yes.
further down your...
Have you ever seen an elephant wearing a knee brace? Elderly people frequently break their hips when they fall down, so a company developed these airbags designed to protect hips. When this device senses that a person is falling, the airbags automatically deploy. This same sort of technology is being used on people who ride motorcycles.
Wow.
There's a hotel in South Africa where elephants come right up to the pool for a drink. This is called a derma clip, which helps heal wounds without using any stitches. Someone designed a concept to help firefighters put out fires in very tall buildings. This machine would use multiple drones to help fly and rescue people who are stuck.
Solo puse fin a una situación que nuestro cliente no puede pagar y tampoco las autoridades.
Every day this cat comes to this butcher looking for any extra scraps of meat.
Verdim bak bu sabah 7'de verdim. Al bakalım. Parçasını kaptı.
This is what a completely automated warehouse looks like with over 1,000 working robots. The robots receive an order from the consumer and then instantly carry out the task. In preparation for the 2018 Men's World Cup, a company in Russia started making water bottles in the shape of a ball. That might sound pretty cool until you realize that the ball acted as a magnifying glass when placed in the sun.
Пил вчера канистру чемпионату мира. Это хорошо мы встали. Бдительные, блин. А люди могут вот так оставить и все. И чемпион.
This is called Handy Move, which is a system that helps disabled people move around their own homes. This is what roads look like in the Middle East after a sandstorm. This artist is using ink that brightly shines in the dark.
This drawing was great. I had to be very careful not to get any of the glowy ink on my fingers because I was touching the paper a lot with my left hand, and I knew very easily I could start smudging, and any smudging would be so painfully apparent.
A few years ago, Dan Mancia lost his eyesight from a rare eye disease, but that didn't stop him from skateboarding. He still skateboards by using a stick to help him avoid running into things.
Yeah!
This is Pitch Lake, located in Trinidad, and is one of the few natural deposits of asphalt in the world.
And what's that mean? Not sticking on your foot at all?
Areas where
Native Americans actually use the mud from this lake to seal their boats to keep water out.
They actually took so much from here and stored in a place called
The lake naturally produces methane, so the bubbles that rise to the surface are flammable.
Derek McGee comes through, and Derek McGee splits.
This company developed a bed that's supposed to calm down your baby. All you need to do is strap in your baby and the machine starts moving. The company states that this rocking motion helps simulate as if the baby was still in the womb. This is the Falkirk wheel, located in Scotland, and is currently the only rotating boat lift in the world. The wheel was created to help connect the canal to a different waterway, making transportation much easier.
This is Gilby. Who is it? Garanuk.
A company in Sweden started making beer out of sewage water. The water is taken from the sewers to be filtered, cleaned, and used to make beer. The purpose is to show people that treated water is perfectly safe to consume.
För att slå hål på fördomarna och få folk att upptäcka att renat avloppsvatten kan bli en del av framtidens lösning, slog nya Carnegie.
Despite the fact that you're drinking beer that was in poop just a few days ago, almost 100,000 people voted the beer a solid 3 out of 5.
Oh! Oh!
Someone invented an airplane that would have the ability to detach and parachute safely to the ground in the event of an emergency. This is how a factory in Vietnam makes holes in designer jeans. Here's a cool visual of what planets would look like in the sky if they're the same distance from the moon. Beehives sometimes get really hot, so to help cool things down, bees will work together to get some air moving.
Bees will actually stand in the opening of the hive and they'll blow the air out or suck the air in to try and get some ventilation going inside the hive. And normally when they're in a commercial box you can't really see it so good.
This is called a sea bin, and it's currently being used to clean up dirty harbors. Trash and other rubbish fall into the bin without harming any sea life. The company states that they have never had a fish or any form of sea life fall into the bin. Many of the streets in Los Angeles are being painted white as a way to help cool down the city. The hope is that the streets will have a more difficult time absorbing radiation emitted from the sun. There's a zoo in New Zealand that traps you in a cage and lets lions crawl all around you.
No. You know they stopped there because so many cows were getting damaged.
Police officers are using new technology when trying to stop fleeing vehicles. This device gets caught entangled in the suspect's wheel, which allows the officer to slow down the vehicle from behind. These guys found a truck that's been abandoned for over 2 years, so they decided to see if they could hotwire the truck and get it running again.
Also cheap like Walmart light stuff too.
Yeah. The only thing that's... Yes, it does.
And that's how it's done.
This company figured out a method to extract honey from a beehive without disturbing the bees.
And that goes into the honey leakback point. The bees keep the hive at about 35 degrees, which means the honey comes out quite warm. You can feel the jar and feel that the honey actually is a little bit warm.
These are called brittle starfish, and they can be found on the coast of California.
Large groups of these brittle stars are often found together at low tide, under rocks and in shallow pools, possibly drawn by concentrations of decaying organic matter, which is a favorite food. These groups can include other animals.
You can make gold dissolve and disappear by placing little tiny drops of mercury on it.
I decided to add a page of gold leaf to this blob, and this time it was much faster and, in my opinion, a lot cooler. One thing I should mention though is that this effect is a little bit exaggerated because the gold leaf has a super high surface area. A solid gold chunk will still amalgamate, but it won't be nearly as spectacular.
These people made it possible for you to have the DNA of your loved ones tattooed in your skin. They take the hair from a loved one, mix it together with colored dye, and place it under your skin.
In your hair is about 20% carbon. In a multi-step process, we extract this personal carbon and manufacture a unique tattoo ink out of it.
Would be a great idea if I could have my children under my skin as a tattoo, so we are connected forever.
This is called the tablecloth cloud effect. As the clouds seep over the mountains, the warm air below evaporates the moisture, keeping the clouds in one place. This is what it looks like when a frog swallows a lightning bug.
I wonder how long it'll live.
That is so cool.
This is how they make giant industrial-sized metal springs. This guy made a car-bike hybrid out of plastic tubes and tinfoil. This is called an orange oak leaf butterfly, and they can be found in South Asia. They have the ability to turn from a dried up leaf to a beautiful butterfly just by moving its wings. Gum getting stuck to sidewalks is a problem in major cities, so a company decided to take all that gum and recycle it to make shoes. There's an organization where 6-year-olds race each other on bikes that go up to 50 miles per hour.
Ross McGuire right on the back of Johnny Garnis as they go through the left-hander. Casey O'Gorman dives, can't get through.
It's all about the back marker. McGuire second, and the back marker has helped out the race leader. That's won in the race.
Yeah, Johnny Garnis is going to have this now with one more lap. It might have been different. To wait for a good opportunity. That looks to me like Casey O'Gorman has got himself back into third. We've got a bike down. Is that Dylan Mellor? I think that's Dylan Mellor who's gone, and Ryan Hitchcock's gone with him.
Looks like Mellor has...
This is an axolotl, and they love to play in bubbles. Here's what it sounds like to switch from an electric motor to a combustion engine in the same car. This is what every pub in England looks like when they score in the World Cup. These doors keep activating each other's sensors when they close, which means this could go on for a really long time. This guy owns wolves that love to eat fruits and vegetables. This is what happens when you inject luminol into a solution containing 10% bleach. There's a McDonald's in Australia that has a really neat way of sending food to their customers. This is what a $1 million humidor cigar chest looks like.
Yeah. Wait a second. Do I stop it?
An organization created a ball that's pretty much indestructible for children from poor countries to play with. Have you ever seen bugs throw punches at each other? This is called a bellow, and it's something alligators do when they want to warn other alligators about coming into their territory. It's also used by male alligators to attract a mate. This is the Holloman Air Force Base located in New Mexico. The base has a high-speed test track that is over 10 miles long and can send objects to speeds of over 6,000 miles per hour. In case you're wondering, this is how sound effects are made for movies. This guy was born without his right arm, so he created his own prosthetic arm made of Legos.
That keeps my arm inside the actual limb. So this is the arm from my point of view, and as you can see, I can move the hand like before, and I will show you how I can grab things with the mechanism I built.
Here's some fun facts about orcas. Killer whales are not whales at all, and they are actually the largest type of dolphin. They typically travel and hunt together in something called pods, which usually consist of anywhere from 15 to 30 orcas. There's a cafe in Japan where people can grab some tea and then feed the raccoons that live there. This is how to subdue a cobra without harming it. You basically need to distract the snake in the front and then come from behind and gently grab it.
To the ground and thumb and forefinger. Touch. This one gone. Touch. Catch in the back side. See, this one also dangerous for
Red Bull Media House made a movie called North of Nightfall where 4 professional bikers went up to the Arctic Circle to ride down a massive mountain. The closest hospital was over 12 hours away. Firefighters in Croatia were watching a crucial penalty shot when they were called to respond to an emergency. Here's what the migration pattern of 118 different bird species looks like in North and South America. This is a Shetland sheep, and these sheep actually don't need to be sheared at all, as their wool can be pulled right off.
Oh, you get wool off of a Shetland sheep. She's already to the midsection.
A Russian engineer developed the plans to create a flying train with the ability to hold up to 2,000 passengers at once. The benefit about this compared to a plane is that arrival times would be extremely precise. There would be no need to worry about air traffic or waiting in line with other planes to gain clearance to take off from a runway. This person helps totally random people from getting a parking ticket by pretending that the car is hers.
I'm right here, my car. Please, thank you. Hey, I'm right here. Please. Thank you. Appreciate you.
This person is walking on a slack line over some rough waters without any safety rope attached, and he almost falls off. This is a cuttlefish, and they have the ability to rapidly change skin color as a way to communicate and hide from predators.
Isn't that just the cutest thing?
This is called an assault breacher vehicle, and its purpose is to destroy roads and sweep for mines. By completely leveling the road, the rest of the convoy does not need to worry about landmines. The German military made their own version where they take giant metal chains and spin them really fast. There's something called a motorcycle chariot, which is basically a regular chariot, except the horse is replaced with a motorcycle. This person was riding their motorcycle when a car suddenly cut them off. These researchers had some fun watching this fish eat, but look what happens to this little snail.
That scared me. Look at the snail peeking down, saying, "What just happened?" Oh my gosh!
Saved.
There was a fish there a second ago.
Saved.
Oh no!
Here's a baby giraffe standing up for the very first time. Here's a good example of the kind of traffic firefighters have to drive through during an emergency. This is the Red Lotus Sea located in Thailand, and it's a swamp that's totally covered in red lotus flowers.
Yes.
This person was running away from the police when a group of cows joined in.
Actually, the large group of cows is following her for a good visual. Looks like they may attack her.
102 alert, I'm going to give you my flashlight. You can tell me where to go from here.
Keep going southeast. She's pretty far into the field now. If you see the large group of cows, they're literally following her and chasing her.
Yeah, I'm bracing her shot.
Alright, alert, we got her lit up.
This is a parrotfish, and when they sleep they just kinda stay still, but they do something really strange if they don't feel safe. Parrotfish have the ability to make a bubble made out of their own mucus to protect themselves from blood-sucking parasites while they sleep. This is what a 3D robotic billboard looks like. This is the Sharp ATV, and it's pretty much the ultimate off-road vehicle. Despite how huge it is, it's actually surprisingly lightweight. Here's a graph showing how fertility rates around the world drop as countries become wealthier. This family ordered some pizza, and the pizza boy showed up and started playing on their piano. In case you didn't know, this is what daytime fireworks look like. This plane in Canada was called in to extinguish a fire in the middle of the road. Nobody was harmed, and unfortunately the video gets a little cut off at the end. This is the largest wave that was ever surfed. Back in November 2017, off the coast of Portugal, the surfer rode a wave that was over 80 feet tall. This figure is created by sending an incredible amount of electricity through glass and plastic. What's cool about this is that the design will continue to flicker with electricity for up to 30 minutes after the initial discharge.
You missed that.
We need a windscreen wiper.
This person attached a drone to an umbrella to make it look like it's floating over his head. This is the Greenland shark, and it has one of the longest lifespans of any animal. This shark has an extremely slow metabolism. Their metabolism is so slow that they're not even biologically ready to mate until they reach about 150 years old. The oldest Greenland shark ever recorded was found to be about 400 years old. These sharks are also extremely slow, with a maximum speed of about 1.6 miles per hour. Because of how slow they are, scientists are not exactly sure how they hunt for food. A boy in Venezuela created his own handheld video game using cardboard and plastic bottles. In the year 79 AD, the city of Pompeii was buried after the eruption of Mount Vesuvius. In the year 1748, excavations began to unearth this ancient city. What you see right now is drone footage of what archaeologists from the past several hundred years have brought to light. This is the Midsummer Eve bonfire located in Norway. It's an annual tradition used to celebrate the summer solstice and the longest day of the year. This giant tower is created by climbing up and down these wooden pallets.
This is a sandfish from Egypt. How cool is that? They do their swimming in the sand.
There's a device you can put on your guitar to automatically tune it.
A few seconds and you're good to go.
This person created a Stirling engine made out of soda cans and a candle. A Stirling engine is an engine that only needs a heat source to operate.
Hey man, can you hurry up in here? I still got a shower.
This bear was injured in a wildfire in California, and these veterinarians decided to use the skin from tilapia fish to heal the wounds. Medical professionals have discovered that the skin from tilapia fish actually speeds up the healing process for burn victims.
Because she's so painful, and we try a new therapy. I put those bandages, the tilapia skin on her feet, and right after we got done and she woke up, she stood up for the first time and was able to walk.
A company created a backpack that stays in place while your back moves up and down. This technology is being used to make it easier for US soldiers to carry equipment.
Okay, unlock.
This is a blue sea slug, and although they look super cute, they're actually extremely dangerous. These little guys eat some of the most venomous jellyfish in the world and then store that venom in their own skin. If a human touches one of these guys, they will receive a potentially deadly sting. There's a restaurant in the Maldives that's completely underwater. In 1997, a group of people in France decided to build their own castle using only the tools they had back in the 13th century. The castle is located right next to a forest where all their building materials come from. The castle is expected to be completed in about 6 years.
Les maçons vont continuer à élever la porte entre deux tours. Soutenus par les carriers et les tailleurs de pierre, ils vont relier les deux tours par un arc formant assommoir.
Many reptile breeders tickle the shell of an egg to see if it's ready to hatch. This method is only used to see if the baby is strong enough to break through the shell.
No. I think he loves me.
Yeah, I got you. I got this on camera.
This person bought a giant stuffed bear, jumped inside, and then went to Walmart.
Wait, turn right. Turn right. Come on. Now teach me how to Dougie.
That is too cute. I mean, seriously.
This is called the Seakeeper, which is a gyro stabilizer to prevent the boat from rocking back and forth. At the bottom of the boat, multiple stabilizers are placed to shift the weight in the opposite direction of the natural motion.
Of every boater's experience. Because stabilizing the roll motion is stabilizing the worst motion of a boat that makes people sick and tired. This will come about, we think, the same way that safety and comfort have been built into automobiles.
This is a Eurasian wryneck, and they have an interesting defense mechanism when they're captured. These birds make their body as skinny as possible and move like a snake to try and scare predators. This is called a self-starting siphon, and is a simple shaped tube that can move liquid without using any sort of effort. Many people actually used to make tubes like this to steal gas from gas stations.
Let's see what happens. Watch it closely. We lower it in, water level comes up to that first bend, over, down, around and out. And it only just made it. In fact, it wouldn't have if that hill were too tall or the water level weren't right up to the edge there.
This is a giant dragline excavator built by the Soviet Union. This incredibly massive machine doesn't have any wheels, but it moves by walking on its feet. During the Vietnam War, this is how the Viet Cong would hide from US soldiers. Not only was it difficult to find the enemy, but the Viet Cong also set up numerous booby traps. This is called the arch lifter, and it's a medical device used to fix your neck. The device locks your head in place, while gravity is used to straighten out your neck.
The arch lifter is a new and unique cervical traction device that relieves the tension and pain that build up after a hard day's work. The arch lifter is designed to apply traction forces precisely to give you the neck and back pain relief you need in under a minute per day. The arch lifter uses balanced traction forces by applying those forces to the front and the back of the head.
This is called a Japanese wood plane, and it's a tool that shaves off extremely thin pieces of wood. To give you an idea of just how thin these sheets of wood are, your typical piece of paper is about 100 microns thick. These wood shavings are sometimes less than 16 microns thick. These are some of the quickest gunslingers in the world.
4:59 on 1, a 5 flat on 2, no time on 3. No time on 3. A 2:95 on 4.
That is a new world record.
A new world record, 2:95.
This is what a $367,000 signing machine looks like. It has the ability to perfectly replicate anyone's signature.
Now that we have the sign plotted, we're going to go ahead and remove away the material we do not need. After we finish weeding, we're going to go ahead and tape over the letters. It's a diamond grade. Basically at night, this is what, when your headlights hit, shoots it back in your face. And there you go. You got a completed stop sign.
This is Peanut the trucker cat. His owner drives a big semi-truck for a living and likes to travel for thousands of miles. This is what conditions are like for over 100,000 people living in Hong Kong. With so many people living in such a small area, these people pay over $150 a month to live in a cage or metal box. To make things even worse, about 15 people have to share the same bathroom. The military in Ukraine decided to show off how advanced their weapons are. Despite being on a boat, the gun is so stable that it can balance a cup of water. There's a train in Thailand that goes straight through a marketplace. This is the USS Arizona Memorial, located in Hawaii. When the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor in 1941, this ship and over 1,000 US sailors sunk to the bottom of the harbor. What makes this memorial so interesting is that over 77 years later, you can still see oil from the ship rise to the surface.
Look at just coming up again and again right in here. Look at
The bark from this tree is used to make cork for wine bottles. The bark grows back on the tree about 9 years later to be harvested again. The average cork tree gets harvested about 12 times in its lifetime.
Nice.
That's the end of this video. Hopefully I made your day just a little better, and I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Later!